Evan Hoffa Wants Your Booty Hole by Brendan Herrera. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. This is very interesting. The title of this video seems promising. So we'll go in. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Let's actually see who wants our booty hole and why does he want our booty hole. I am here looking for booty. The homie claimer of ass.
Gun Meme Review. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Gun Meme Review. This one is incredibly action-packed. Smith & Wesson continues to copy Kel-Tec's homework, the Ballad of Garantham and 22 Man, and last but certainly not least, apparently Evan Hafer wants your butthole. All this and more on this episode of GMR. Let's hop right in. So a few days ago, Smith & Wesson dropped their newest product. It is a 9mm folding PCC. That's right, the gun just straight up breaks in half. Does this sound familiar? It should, because like 10 years ago, Kel-Tec developed a folding 9mm PCC that straight up breaks in half. I will say, just on the surface, I do actually like Smith & Wesson's design better because it...
What? Break usually means it's done, it's finished. You know? So like, why would you make a gun that breaks? Visible confusion. Huh? I haven't skipped it. I will maybe do it. It's just the problem is with these videos, usually it's not my type of humor. And then I won't laugh. Because just because someone laughs doesn't mean I will laugh. This is like, we're not a hive mind.
You know, folds in half in a sideways kind of way instead of over the top, meaning you can actually, you know, use optics and still fold the gun. I have a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Those sights aren't good. You really want to use a fucking optic. Smith & Wesson Corporate. The dude in the machine shop who suggested building Kel-Tec copies. So in case you guys didn't know, this has actually happened once before. You see, Smith & Wesson not too long ago released their DP-12, I believe it was. This is a dual tube.
I don't know much about guns. The only thing I know is that our military got guns at one point that, when used too much, got too hard and then started shooting sideways. Don't quote me on this, but the German military has interesting weapons. But they're not really surprising, they can't even afford socks and boots.
Tube-fed, bullpupped 12-gauge shotgun. Does this sound familiar? Well, it should. Because over a decade earlier, Kel-Tec released a dual tube-fed, pump-action, bullpup shotgun. That one I was willing to let go. This folding carbine... Smith & Wesson, you guys know what you're doing. You gotta know, right? If I had a nickel for every time Smith & Wesson ripped off a Kel-Tec design, I'd have 2 nickels. Which is...
They're stealing gun designs from each other? Rather interesting, I suppose. Fair? Who knows, maybe with all the design flaws. Hi, Sushi Canvas. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hello. Rather interesting. I suppose you can do that. See, they're ripping off each other in every industry, guys, right? VTubers is voices. Nike is from Puma and vice versa. Here it's guns. Whatever, I suppose. Poga, do you agree? Poga, can we all agree to just hate the French? See, I have nothing really against the French. But it is funny to hate on them simply for the fact that they just surrender, and that they're really good at that.
Isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. This got so bad that even Kel-Tec official went to Twitter and started throwing a little bit of shade. There seems to be a trend starting at Smith & Wesson Inc. Y'all run.
They're beefing on Twitter over gun designs. Guns are fun. They are. They're beefing on Twitter over gun designs. When France sneezes, Europe catches a cold. Did the French fart and that's why we have a heat wave?
Run out of your own ideas? Alright, just to be fair, I don't actually have a dog in this fight because quite frankly, I don't fucking care. But whoever's running Kel-Tec's social media, give that man a raise. So is it an obvious copy? No, maybe. The real question that actually matters to the consumer is, which one of these is better? Well, let's see this direct comparison chart. Keltec takes Glock mags. Smith & Wesson doesn't take Glock mags. Developed by coked out geniuses. Probably made by some virgin nerd. Probably the gun they were singing about in Keysby Nights. The gun that your mom wants. I believe the meme maker may have had some bias.
I suppose, yes, the meme maker did. But also, there's questions. What would mom do with the guns? With the gun, that is the question. I have -2 points for the French based on experience in France. They're rude. For me, it's online gaming. But they're not worth hating. Sand peasants are.
Here. I honestly have no fucking clue which is better. Now, if you've ever owned or wanted to own a Keltec gun, go ahead and subscribe. Because around these parts, even though we give Keltec a lot of shit, we love those guys. Their weapons possess a kind of charm that could only come from coked out engineers in Florida, of course. I've had some hands-on time with the Keltec Sub 2000, and it is one of the guns of all time. In fact, folding it from the trigger guard feels like you're going to break it off because, as we've said, Keltecs are typically made of recycled Florida beach plastic. So Smith & Wesson, if you want to hook one of those up, I probably won't do a video on it because everybody else has, but I'm curious and I will never say no to more guns. Speaking of which, it happened again. Every time there's a big gun launch like this, the same thing happens, and I guarantee you the next time another big gun launches and there's a big media stink over it, this will happen again. So let's just go ahead and dive right into that. When all the gun tubers drop a review of the same product at the same time. Shill alert!
To be fair, honestly, kind of not surprised, considering that when like a major release of something is, right, of anything, you see all the same people making videos on it. So like, I don't see really an issue. I feel like that's almost normal. I feel like that's normal. So I'm not surprised in this case either.
Shill alert! Look at these fucking sellouts. They're all getting paid by Smith & Wesson. All right, so let me explain what's actually going on. And like I said, no dog in this fight. Haven't done it. I actually don't really care that much about new guns, so I don't get guns sent to me for reviews because I fucking hate reviews. I love taking...
I feel like it might also be just like being as quick as possible and being the first to get out the review as quickly as possible. Because like the sooner you actually get out the review for something, right, the better, right? Usually that's how that works. Gave you a sub. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's usually how that works, right?
Apart old guns or cool guns from history or militaria or whatever. And a lot of new guns don't really interest me all that much. So sorry, yeah, I'm not going to be reviewing the new iteration of the Springfield Hellcat or whatever the fuck. But what's actually happening here is what's called an embargo. So let's say you're Smith & Wesson releasing a new product. Obviously, as a marketing guy, you want people to talk about that product. One of the easiest ways to do that is to get it into the hands of, print media and internet influencers and whatever, so they can give their opinion on said product. But your release date isn't until, I don't know, let's say March 1st. So what happens is you either, have those influencers shake on it or sign something, or depending on the relationship, saying that they won't release their video until after you announce at, let's say, noon on March 1st. Now, everybody wants to be the first to drop that video because that's the one that usually gets the views. Like the biggest audience that drops the first, they're typically the winner. So as soon as that deadline comes, everybody who had a gun sent to them that they were keeping quiet about because, obviously they agreed to the embargo to not talk about it, they all rush to release it at once, which is why you get a flood on your YouTube feed of all these videos coming out at once about the same gun. That's not to say that they're not being paid.
I probably there still are, right? Usually how this works is, right, you get the product earlier so you can review it and then you can release the review when they tell you to. Usually that's how that works, right? We see that in many other, right? We see this for game reviews too, right, where they do that. Or they allow you to release a spoiler-free review. That's also something that they do, right? In this case, probably for firearm. I'm assuming that that's not the case.
These guys are probably getting paid. That doesn't mean you're buying a good review, it means that you are buying the time on that channel to talk about said guns. A lot of the bigger guys do not do this shit for free. Are some of these gun reviewers bought and paid for? Well, let's be honest, probably. But I just wanted to clear up that, being paid for something is not necessarily the same as being paid for a good review. Believe it or not, there are a couple of gun tubers that still have an ounce of integrity. There's a couple. Company sends pre-release gun to reviewer. Company forbids reviewer from releasing until certain date. All reviews drop when the media embargo ends. Everyone thinks the reviewers are shills due to flood of simultaneous reviews. And round we go every fucking time. So is your favorite gun reviewer a shill? I mean, it's quite possible. But is this the reason? Absolutely not. This is just a little bit of a, peek behind the curtain in the business of this stuff. I've had to sign stuff exactly like this that I won't talk about things until a certain date when it's available to the public. I just wasn't going to talk about it anyway because, like I said at the beginning, I don't fucking care. What I am looking forward to is what they're potentially going to do with this. I mean, it kind of looks like an MG34. What's the harm in making one? Come on. Give me the MG34 one. And this is why Smith & Wesson won't talk to me. So now that I think we've beaten that topic.
Wait, so this man is basically blacklisted by a gun company? I wonder how you achieve that, I suppose. But then I've seen somebody get blacklisted by KFC for completely going ham at an all-you-can-eat thingy. So it wouldn't be the first time.
Topic to death. Something else noteworthy happened. That's right, Garanthem finally did a video with 22 Man. And it was exactly what I expected. I won't spoil it, but it was a fantastic video. Between the music, the editing, and 22 Man himself, I got all the entertainment I could ask for. What 22 Man hitting a Coke can at 710 yards was supposed to look like. What it actually was like. Yeah, so for those who don't know the background, Garanthem did a video on 22 lethality at range. This guy leaves a long-winded comment talking about him and his buddies used to shoot Coke cans at 710 yards with 22s off a tractor all day long. Mike then calls him on it and says he'll fly him out to go try to replicate the shot. The mad lad that is 22 Man takes him up on it, leading to some pretty good memes. When she says you're the only guy she's talking to, I want to believe. And to any girl I may be talking to, you're the only one. Settle down.
You never know. You never know. You never know if she's the only one. If you are the only one she's talking to, you never know. You can never be too sure. This is always, this is always a difficult topic.
That was a joke. I don't talk to women. That was also a joke. Several of you guys need to probably talk to more women. Trust me, just do it. Just don't be creepy about it. And now because
Nah, women are scary. They scare me. They scare me. I have woman phobia. The fear of woman. Anyway.
it fits perfectly. I'm Marty Robbins meme. Gunfighter ballads and trail songs. 22 LR Man. Small iron. Death of a soda can. 710 yard shot. Team 22 dream. 22 LR death round. Internet stranger. Garanthem gets cocked. I never read these all the way to the end. I just kind of skim through it and see if it's a good meme. Some of these sneak up on me. And now a comment that was actually sent to me by Mike himself. The actual ballad of 22 Man. Read to the cadence of The Night Before Christmas, because that's funny to me. Fellows do gather and bend me an ear. Hearken this legend that happened quite near. In the Idaho hills as winter expired, 'twas first told to Michael, a warrior retired. From the lips of a hero this legend was told, and never heard Michael a claim quite so bold. Of nerve and of skill a small metal can, that attracted the wrath of this sharp-sighted man. As he gazed from his porch just outside his front door, he noted the yardage, 35 and a half score. Then to arms he did go, as all good heroes do.
I never knew that the gun people were this into memes. Or rhyming, poetry. That's a new one for me.
His hands they were steady, his aim it was true. Though his weapon was small, some say almost a toy, he chuckled, perhaps, in the hands of a boy. Not gonna read too far into that fucking line. He pointed, calling out to his quivering foe. You've awakened my wrath, and down...
This bit... This bit is terrible out of context. This is so awful. Though his weapon was small as some say almost a toy, he chuckled perhaps in the hands of a boy. It's so terrible. This is so awful out of context. Oh god. Oh no. This is 50 Shades of Grey for gun owners. This is so awful. This is so terrible of context. Oh my god. God, my sides help. That's so awful.
You shall go. Then swiftly and smartly he pointed his gun, on account of the range, somewhere close to the sun. He fired his shot, it rang out like a bell, and he knew that he'd punched his foe's ticket to hell. To the maidens he turned with a smile and a wink, then 4 seconds later, a small metal tink. And so ends the tale of that dastardly can, and so goes the legend of 22 Man.
All that for like 2 likes. I appreciate the effort.
And be sure to leave out milk and cookies for 22 Man. And a carton of cigarettes. As we're moving into the fun part of this video, I need to tell you again that the main sponsor of the channel is now SDI, or the Sonoran Desert Institute. So if you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, go ahead and check them out using the links in the description and in the pinned comment.
Interesting, gunsmithing. I guess that exists. They like this, but the thing is, I don't really understand anything about guns. So like for the most part, I don't really get anything, to be fair. That's also because I don't really consume any content like that, so there's that.
Also check out the merch links. We've got some new stuff up there. Some cool AK Texas flag stuff. You guys will like it. Anyhow, on to the meat and taters. Wow, that sounds awful with what I'm about to say next. Spoilers. So, Black Rifle Coffee. The comment section is already a shit show. So if you've been hiding under a rock, there's been a slew of allegations from a civil suit, I believe, at Mr. Evan Hafer, one of the owners of Black Rifle. It was sent to me like a week ago, and I will honestly say it is one of the...
Do they sell guns or do they say coffee? Sell coffee. Could be both.
Funniest goddamn things I've ever read in my entire life. I read this first thing in the morning, somebody texted it to me, and I read through the entire thing, and I was cackling to myself. I'm not even fucking kidding. Some of the statements are so absurd, and I know 95% of it had to have happened. So the background. A disgruntled former employee from the Salt Lake office of Black Rifle basically filed some civil documents alleging inappropriate workplace behavior, some of which leading to his termination. One of them, and the one that has been memed to oblivion, was a particular line. Mr. Roper and Mr. Hafer were working alone in a conference room when Mr. Hafer turned to Mr. Roper and said, quote, "Why don't we close that door and buttfuck the shit out of each other?" Mr. Roper
Booty sex. That's crazy.
rejected the sexual proposition, and the meeting continued in awkward tension. I quit. I can't make this up. Reality's a better comedian than I'll ever be. If you know Evan, you know that this is totally something he would just fucking say to fuck with you. But just like that FBI meme from that other gun meme review, some of this shit does not look good on paper. When you're in a business meeting with Evan Hafer of BRCC and he strips naked and suggests you butt fuck the shit out of each other. You can fucking hear this meme. Evan Hafer, when it's 5 minutes into a staff meeting and nobody is butt fucking the shit out of each other. This video is so getting hit for intense profanity. You guys better appreciate this.
Yep, it is. This is definitely not getting monetized. To be fair, I'm surprised that gun YouTubers actually exist because of how aggressive YouTube's AI is. I'm actually surprised that none of these people got nuked into orbit.
So you better subscribe. Like this video or Evan Hafer will butt fuck the shit out of you. Why don't we close that door and butt fuck the shit out of each other? Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just shut down. I get it, not my best impression. One of the other things I thought was fucking hilarious that was in this suit multiple times was the constant use around the office of the term Mountain Jew to describe Mormons. I will admit I have used that term before because I find it.
What the fuck? That is just outrageous. What the fuck? Referring to Mormons as Mountain Dew is crazy. Understandable. Have a good day, at least to the Mormons. Oh my god. Well, that's fantastic. Somebody cooked here. Oh god. My sides. Well, I did not expect Mormons to catch strays here. Ooh, calm down. Ooh, okay, moving on. Ooh.
Hilarious, and so do a lot of my Mormon friends. When you work at BRCC and Evan Hafer calls you into his office.
Hey, man, you dick.
Hey man, neat dick. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but it was honestly so funny, and there have been so many memes that I just had to fucking cover it, right? Especially since I got brought into it directly with some of the memes, which was pretty fucking funny. When Black Rifle Coffee Company employees come into Evan Hafer's office.
Something oddly sexual about that.
Now, you read through some of the absurd shit that gets said in the office that was apparently very offensive, and it makes a lot of sense when you actually read in the filing itself. Mr. Roper was not a veteran. And I say that as a non-veteran myself. But I grew up in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I've been around veterans pretty much my entire life. Most of the people I interact with on the day-to-day are veterans. Let me tell you, veterans' sense of humor is fucking different. Literally every vet watching this will attest to that. If you wanted to take it horribly out of context, Evan and Matt, have probably said worse shit to me than this, and I just don't bat a fucking eye to it because that's how they talk. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but Evan Hafer, the married with kids owner of Black Rifle Coffee, does not want your butthole. And I know there's several of you who are probably very disappointed by that fact. It's also worth pointing out that Evan Hafer and Mr. Roper are actually now friends. The case was dismissed in 2019, and in Mr. Roper's own words, quote,
I feel like the friendship was formed through something intense. Anyway.
Things went completely sideways at one point, and then things circled back around. We're friends. He said there was a lot of misunderstanding. Once lawyers got involved on both sides, it became very difficult to stop the escalated proceedings. Evan and I, we kind of joked about how we were along for the ride, and it almost felt like we kind of lost control a bit of how this disagreement was being handled. Evan said, quote, "He's a good guy and found success outside our company, and good for him. I'm happy for him. Even though we were legally at odds, we were still able to put our friendship back together. So while it sucks that both reputations had to be dragged through the mud for a while because of attorneys and all that shit, there is one silver lining. That we got to read that fucking amazing court document. Please, for the love of God, if you haven't read it, it's fantastic. Take it with a grain of salt. It was curated by attorneys to sound as bad as it possibly could. But be that as it may, it plays out in my head as a better comedy than most of what Hollywood pumps out these days. And no, I did not consult Evan before making this video, and I'm very curious to see how he reacts. I'm sure he still has a lot of agency connections, so if the answer is poorly, then it's been nice knowing you guys. Anyhow, let's move on to some other memes now. Dimples that make men go crazy.
I get along with the first two. Don't know much about the third.
Agreed on all fronts. However, there's one thing that really bothers me about this meme. It's a fucking lightning cut on that AK. That is a milled AK. That is not a stamped AK. Stamped AKs are the ones with dimples. That one's milled. It's a lightning cut. God damn it. Delance, put up on the screen, please, what a real dimple looks like on a stamped receiver. This is a lightning cut. This is a dimple. Lightning cut. Dimple. Bonk, go to horny jail. Dimple. You're dry firing, but suddenly you can no longer see anything and your ears are ringing.
Still one of the worst frames of Andrew Tate. Outrageous. Also, the dry firing could be, something else. Anyway. Gunsmithing is a term. Yeah, I feel like it's been some years since I heard gun fu. in the TV show as well. Oh god. Gun fu.
You no longer see anything. What the fuck are you shooting? In the case of this meme, probably not a lot from prison. MAGA warriors. I eat liberals. Librals. Yeah, liberals and shit bullets. Yo, this motherfucker eats shit bullets.
I mean, yeah, you're technically, yeah, you technically have, you know, you already eat shit. Well, if you can't read, yeah. Anyway.
This isn't the most cringe I've seen come out of someone with a Punisher skull bumper sticker, so, you know, there's that. Also, this is why punctuation is important. When I post my photos, I blur my face for persec. Have you tried not posting anything at all? Yeah, bro, but if I don't post anything, nobody knows how hard I operate.
True. 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 You have much what it takes. Check Andrew Tate opinion on women's right. Oh, I know. The British were so afraid of him. Right? The British were so afraid of him. They even started doing anti-misogyny programs at schools. I was there when it was written. And with it, take care. Take care, cricket. Bye-bye.
At Milsim West. That is kind of a weird trend, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get the OG operator photos and everything, and then some people started doing it, like, ironically as a meme, right? And then you get overweight airsofters do it. And they start doing it for the meme too. And then they start doing it unironically. And then it just follows that trajectory until 3 years later, literally everyone who does it is cringe as fuck. Because the cool guys see the fat kids doing it, and then they stop doing it because it's not cool anymore. Death before dishonor, you know. And now, Harry Potter. Ain't no secrets in this chamber.
Isn't that Hogwarts Legacy? But with guns. Ain't no secrets in this chamber. It's actually a good one. It's actually a fantastic one. Like, have you seen the YouTube video called Honest Review of Women's Suffrage? No.
Master has given Dobby a Glock. Dobby is...
Stop! Master has given Dobby a Glock. Wonderful.
It's free. Speaking of which, did you guys enjoy Hogwarts Legacy? I know I...
Yeah, I didn't enjoy one of the most fun VTubers getting nuked for it by mentally ill people, but there's that. There's an edit Harry Potter trailer where all the wands are replaced with guns. No wonder. That makes sense.
really didn't that much, but I figured it was worth a shot because it made blue hairs angry, and you'd be surprised how far out of my way I'd go to watch them cope and seethe. But on that lovely note, you lovely, lovely people, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for this episode of Gun Meme Review. Next up on the docket, we've got a really cool range video and maybe an AK-50 update. Which is why if you haven't already, you should go ahead and fucking subscribe! Hit the notification bell, goddamn! Kidding, I love you all. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much for staying to the end. And as always, I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video.
Honestly, this was a fun video. Most of the time, I don't get it because it's guns. Most of the time, I don't get it, but that was fun. That was fun. That was a fun video. I did enjoy it, especially the poetry and the booty memes. Anyway.